Kyle, what are the three hidden costs of accepting a cheap quote and having a cheap paint job done? Good question. Hi, I'm Tom with PaintBusters Australia. Cheap isn't always better, it's cheap. It's as simple as that. And there's a reason why it's cheap. So if they're using unknown paint or the lowest possible quality, it's not going to last. You go to wash your walls and it just wipes off, It goes powdery. You can't clean it. It may peel, it may fail. So instead of lasting 10 years internally, you might have to paint after 5. So if you're spending $5,000 twice in 10 years, you've paid 10, and you could have had it done for possibly 7.5 in the first place, and you might even get 15. I went back to jobs during my apprenticeship that my father had painted 20 years previously, and there was nothing wrong with it. The colours were outdated. So getting the right job and using the right products is of good value. The other thing is, apart from the rework and the redo, is that it attracts, lower standard of stuff. If you've got a rental property, it attracts lower standards of tenants. It's as simple as that, And you want something that's going to be low maintenance or no maintenance, especially if you're, wanting to increase your portfolio of stuff. And then you've got safety issues in this litigation mad world. What if it's some sort of paint that lets off a toxin, and poisons someone and they sue you, and then there's a myriad of different scenarios why cheap isn't better, it's just cheaper, and it could be that painters use internal paint externally, and they do, and external paint internally, which is crazy because they're formulated for internal conditions. Internal paints dry harder, external paints dry softer, are always soft to a point for the flexibility. So, you need to know your stuff, you need to know what products go where, and that's what we're all about. We've got everything from DIY consultancy to hiring a painter with the tools to work with you, or we can get 3 reputable painters to give you a lump sum fixed price. There's 3 levels of paint in the marketplace. There's trade, that's cheap. There's trade premium, which most painters use, and it's quite acceptable. And then you've got premium. Premium is, scrubbable, which is a good thing, especially if you've got kids or tenants or whatever. If the marks can wipe off and you don't have to repaint, then that's worth considering. So when you're getting your painting quotes, we can arrange 3 for you. And you've got to be mindful too that paint companies are in the business of selling paint. They always go for an overkill of specifications. So talk to a well-educated industry person like PaintBusters Australia. With our members and our staff have hundreds of years of combined knowledge on paints and paint systems and specifications. We're not here to take money under false pretense. We're here to help you, the end user, to get your value for money and what you paid for. Cheers.